You wouldn't happen to have a piece of steak lying around I could put on this, would you?
No, sorry, love. Tell you what I have got for you, though.
What?
The bill for the exotic hairdo I had done for you.
£2? I said get an hairdo, not a flaming transplant.
Oh, Raymond, what's £2 to a sauna bath millionaire?
Ex-sauna bath millionaire. I've a funny feeling that particular partnership's been dissolved by mutual consent. Hello, then. Drafting in some new talent over the road, are they, and not before time?
I don't believe we've been formally introduced.
True, but then these are the permissive 70s, and there you are, all feminine and desirable. And here I am, piping hot and fresh from the oven.
No, very fresh, I'd have said.
You are the girl who keeps dropping her hanky from the first floor window over there when I go past on my little moped?
Oh, that'd be our new overlooker. He's lovely, really. His name's Nigel. You'd like him a lot, wouldn't he, Carol?
Oh, yeah, I'd have said they were born for each other.
Who is it he reminds me of, though?
Clint Eastwood, perhaps, or Steve McQueen?
Bella Lugosi, old Mother Riley.
That's it, yeah.
Who, old Mother Riley?
Chi-Chi. You know, the giant panda.
Oh, but don't let that discourage you, love. We're both very fond of animals, aren't we, kid?
Oh, well, we all have our problems. And I suppose in this day and age, well, anything goes, doesn't it?
A couple of arm cakes, please, love.
Hey, he's a bit of all right, isn't he? Is he typical, then, of the local talent like Mrs.?
Mrs.? You mean Raymond Langton? No. Wait till you meet the real raver round here, Al Tatlock. Now, he's what you would call the answer to a maiden's prayer.
Oh, yeah, and is he, you know?
Oh, I do know, love, and he is, honestly. You wouldn't believe... Oh, it gets me going just to talk about him and what some people would do for a night of bliss with Al Tatlock. Mind you, it's a very sad case, really.
How do you mean, sad?
Well, go on, I'll tell you. You see, Al swore never to touch another woman again as long as he lives, you see, because he's nursing an undying passion for a certain Mrs. Sharples.
Oh, I see. And is she, you know, like...
Oh, yeah, she's as big a raver as what he is. Well, you can tell she had to be sent home from that Georgie Best party. Only she won't take him on, you know, because she says he keeps coming, the old soldier.
And what's he like, this Al Tatlock?
Well, I couldn't describe him to you, not in words, you know, but love. You see, you know if you saw him, because he's once seen, never forgot.
I suppose if I asked you how you'd got it, you'd tell me you walked into a door, wouldn't you?
Now, you know I wouldn't tell you a lie, Al, but you see, there was this sauna bath millionaire who wanted me to share in his fortune.
Right.
But during the course of negotiations, he insulted my professional integrity. So I decided that honour was better than wealth, and I knocked him into the middle of the sherry trifle.
No. Well, of course, if you ask a daft question, you expect a daft answer, don't you?
That's right.
Oh, if you're getting them in, mine's a drop of rum.
Oh, you do look nice. Is Ernest taking you somewhere, love?
Not really. I'm going over to see Mr. Maxwell about the job at the warehouse.
Oh, what time's your meeting?
In about 10 minutes from now.
Oh, well, good luck, love.
Thanks.
You haven't forgotten the community centre meeting tonight, have you?
Not at all, but I'm afraid this is the only possible time Mr. Maxwell can see me, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the interview isn't unduly prolonged.
Oh, good. Try, love.
Bye.
4 pints of bitter, please, dear.
Right, give us on with this.
Middle for diddles, then, Arnold. All right.
Am I dreaming, or do I know that fella from somewhere?
Your digs are down Victoria Street, aren't they?
So?
So you will then, won't you? This lot are all from them new sky-high flats down the bottom, Victoria Precinct, I think it's called.
You're off your beat a bit, aren't you, tonight, Alma Shepherd?
Hello, Mrs. Sharples. How you going?
Not as well as you, by the look of you. So you're in Civil Street now, then, are you?
Oh, I left ministry a couple of years back. I've got myself a newsagent on the ground floor of them new flats in Victoria Street.
Oh, aye. And what brings you round this end, then?
We're going to a meeting up at the community centre.
Oh, come to the meeting, have you?
Right.
But you're from Victoria Street, aren't you?
Right.
Well, what the heck's it got to do with your lot? It's our community centre.
Pardon me, Mr. Tatlock, that's not true. That community centre's been built to serve the whole area. There's no special privilege for you lot just because it's on your doorstep, you know.
Oh, I see. So that's why the pub's full of foreigners, is it? I reckon you Victoria Streeters think you're going to make a bit of a takeover, eh?
Just protecting our interests, Mr. Tatlock, nothing more. Nothing
well,
less.
we'll see about that.
Hey, where have you been?
Helping the youngs build a new space station. What do you think of
Never
it?
mind that, clever clogs. Get off home and get yourself a tie on.
You what?
Listen, it's election night, isn't it, over at the community centre?
So?
So, all them low-living lot from them high flats is going to be pinching all the plum jobs. Now, it's up to us Coronation Streeters to step into his breeches and stop 'em, isn't it? Because otherwise, they'll end up with all the sheriffs and all we'll be is the blooming cowboys, won't we? Now, go on, get off home.
Flaming Nora.
And be sharp back.
Hey, I've got a present for you, mate. From Stella Randall.
50 quid, she's joking.
That wasn't the impression I got when she gave it to me, mate.
We only broke a few flaming glasses.
Tell me later, eh? I've got to open a community centre today. To promote brotherly love.
Yes, Len.
Have you seen Emily Nugent, love?
Oh, you've just missed her. But she's going to try and make the meeting tonight, though.
Oh, let's hope so, eh?
Oh, the new schedule's all ready, then? Oh, good. Could somebody pop them over to me? Right, thanks. Oh, Maxwell. Yeah? Look, I've just got somebody with me at the moment. Can I call you back? Right, thanks. Oh, sorry about that. I'm afraid it's a bit like Grand Central Station in here today. Now, let's see. Oh, yes, it is Miss Nugent.
Yes,
And at the moment, you're working as an assistant in a photographic studio.
that's right.
That's rather an abrupt change of direction, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is, really.
What, you bored with the photographic business?
Oh, not at all. As a matter of fact, I did find the work most stimulating.
Oh, I see.
There are personal reasons for my wanting to find other employment.
Ah, yes, well, they happen in the best of professions, don't they? These little, clashes of personality.
Oh, it's not a question of that. Quite the contrary.
Oh, I see.
Oh, what I mean is, Mr. Bishop, he owns the studio. Well, Mr. Bishop and I are unofficially engaged, so I thought it would be better for all concerned, therefore, if for the moment we had separate employment.
Yes. Well, your fiancé certainly valued your services very highly, Miss Nugent. He's given you a glowing reference. Still, that's only to be expected, isn't it, under the circumstances?
I suppose it is, really, yes.
So, Maxwell. Oh, yes, I'll hold on. Do excuse me.
Certainly.
It's head office.
Hey, I thought you said you were going to reserve a seat for me.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't, Albert. All I said was I would try my best. And my best, well, it just wasn't quite good enough.
Oh, well, what's up with the one next to you? That's not took, is it?
It is now.
Oh, so that's the idea. You'll save a seat for her, but you won't save one for me.
There's plenty of seats at the back, Albert. For goodness sake, go and find yourself one and make yourself less.
I won't be able to see you at the back, will I?
Well, look, there's only Alf Robertson and Len Fairclough on that stage tonight, not a troupe of belly dancers from Baghdad. Now, are you moving her out, you?
You think you own the blooming place, don't you, just because you've got your job back? Right, little littler, aren't you? Look, the likes of me fought wars to keep the likes of you down.
Yes, and when I look at the likes of it, it makes me wonder how we won them.
Blooming women.
Come on, stand with your neighbours to it. Excuse me, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Hey!
Was you saying something, Hilda?
You know very well we was coming for them 2 seats.
Yeah, well, first come, first served. And when it comes to getting chairs, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Right, Stanley. We don't move from here until them 2 monkeys hutch up out of our seats.
You heard what she said. Here we are and here we stand. Pardon? Well, there's no point in upsetting people, is there? You know. Come on, love.
Hey, you haven't seen Emily Nugent, have you?
I haven't got no idea where she's got to. Was it important?
No, just something I wanted to put to her, that's all.
Hey, missus, I reckon you're going to take that thing off your head when it starts so as we can all see.
I certainly won't, honestly.
Blooming women.
And I'd like to know where you'd be, old man, if it wasn't for us women.
I'll tell you where I'd be. I'd be down at front where I belong, not sitting here behind that blooming bird's nest you've got on your head. And I'll tell you something else, missus. Not so much of the old man. Looking at you, I reckon I've got as many of my own teeth in my head as what you have.
Can I just have your attention for a couple of minutes, please? My name is Fairclough, and on behalf of the Weatherfield Welfare Committee, I'd like to welcome you to the first Weatherfield Community Centre. Now, I suppose I could spend a couple of hours telling you what I think these centres are all about, but I don't think that's necessary. I think it's sufficient to sum it up in one word: community. The job of these centres is to promote a sense of community in the community. Now, I've heard a lot of very clever people giving some very good reasons as to why kids are going wrong today. Well, I'm not a very clever bloke, so I don't intend to argue with them. But I think one of the main reasons that they're going wrong is because they've lost something. Something that we've always had. A sense of belonging to something somewhere. And it's not only the kids who feel this sense of loss. I mean, it's all of us. But it's the kids who are making the most noise about it. And the kids who are doing something about it. Now, we're not going to solve all the world's social problems here in the Weatherfield Community Centre. But there's one thing we can do. And that is, if we use this place properly, we will make a few people realise that there is nothing that we need more today than one another.
You know, he'll go far one of these days, that gaffer of yours.
You reckon? Every penny
you never know, he might even make councillor or something.
Has been money well spent. Thank you. And now I'd like to call upon Councillor Alf Roberts here, and we can get on with the elections. Councillor Alf Roberts.
Thank you, Len. Well, the first election tonight will be for the post of chairman of the committee.
I'm sorry about that, Miss Nugent. We don't seem to be getting very far, do we? Oh, am I holding you up in any way?
Well, I did have another engagement. Shall I come back tomorrow?
Oh, well, tomorrow would be cutting it a bit fine. Look, you're not married, but you're engaged, right?
Well, we haven't actually bought the ring yet, but I'm sure that's only a matter of time.
Yes, how much time?
Well, I must say, I fail to see why all this is relevant to whether I get the job or not.
Well, in that case, let me explain. Look, what I'm looking for is the right person to take over what I consider to be one of the key departments here. Now, there are other applicants, but frankly, none of them measure up to you as far as qualifications are concerned.
I see.
Yes, but on the other hand, I don't want to turn one of these down and then end up with somebody on my hands who's going to disappear in a few months' time, having a baby.
Oh, I certainly see no prospect of that in the immediate future, Mr. Maxwell. Well, what I mean is, matrimony as such hasn't really been discussed yet.
Ah, I see. Maxwell.
So that's the sort of chap we want. Dedicated, hard-working and capable. Now, can I have your nominations, please?
I propose Mr. Arnold Shepherd of Victoria Precinct.
Yeah, you...
Mr. Arnold Shepherd is proposed. Do we have a seconder? Arnold Shepherd proposed and nominated. Now, can I have any more nominations? Mrs. Sharples?
I'd like to propose Mr. Ernest Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Ernest Bishop is proposed. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Ernest Bishop proposed and seconded. Any more nominations? That seems to be it then.
Now, would the stewards hand out the voting papers, please? Now, would you please, ladies and gentlemen, just write down the name of your choice on your voting paper. Either Shepherd or Bishop. And I'm to remind you that Shepherd is spelt S-H-E-P-P-A-R-D.
And Bishop is pronounced success.
Results for you. By one vote after 3 recounts, the first chairman of the Weatherfield Community Centre is Arnold Shepherd. And having got that bit out of the way, I think I'll call upon Mr. Shepherd to take the chair.
By heck, if he was a cat, that one, he'd lick himself to death.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your confidence in me. I only hope I can be worthy of it.
Yeah, and so do we. Oh, shush yourself, you blooming...
Well, before we do anything else, what about a big hand for the gallant loser, eh? Come on, Mr. Bishop, take it out. Right then. Well, now we come to the next post, and to my mind, the most important post of all. That of Community Secretary. Now, can I have your nominations for Community Secretary?
I would like to propose Miss Emily Nugent.
Is Miss Nugent willing to serve?
Well,
Give me the greatest pleasure to second that nomination, Mr. Chairman.
Well, Miss Nugent?
very well.
Any other nominations? Come along, don't all speak at once. I can see some of you lot have been secretaries to this kind of thing before.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in that case, then, I have pleasure in declaring that Miss Nugent is elected unopposed as our first community secretary. And may I say how pleased I am that somebody so capable has taken the job on. They say that behind every good man is a good woman, and I expect that goes for a good chairman, too.
Here, here.
Oh, good evening. Could I have a packet of small cigars, please?
Are these all right?
Oh, yes, they're fine.
Right. Aren't you from the mail order place over the road?
That's right.
It's Mr. Maxwell, isn't it?
Right again.
Thought so. Things getting any straighter over there, are they?
Oh, I think we'll be straight by Christmas.
Oh, I've been thinking it must be very, very interesting to start a place like that, you know, from scratch, like.
Well, I deal with people. They're always interesting, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, yes, they are.
Till I get the change.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there what else I can do you for?
No, thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
There's one I could really go for.
Who?
That Mr. Maxwell from over the warehouse.
Oh, is he from the warehouse then?
Yeah, he's the personnel officer, you know.
Oh, must pay him a call. You know, there must be lots of stuff coming out of there. I'm sure they'd be glad to get somebody to shift it for them.
Oh, I can imagine.
Give us a couple of carrots, will you, darling?
Yeah.
Where is everybody? It's like the OK Corral out there tonight, just before the gunfight started.
Well, they'll be at the meeting, won't they?
What meeting?
Community centre meeting.
Oh, I thought that was next week.
No, it's tonight.
Oh, better get me skates on.
Well, which job are you after? Secretary, chairman, or what?
Oh, don't be daft, love. Only a fool works for nothing. Thanks for the carrots.
Any more nominations for the committee?
I would like to propose Mr. Ernest Bishop. I feel quite sure that with his wide experience of voluntary service to the community, he'd have a most invaluable contribution to make.
Oh, I'll second that.
Right, any further nominations?
I would like to nominate Mr. Stanley Ogden. I feel quite sure that Mr. Ogden could be a very useful and activated member of the committee. Thank you.
Mr. Stanley Ogden is proposed. Is there a seconder? Well, do I have a seconder for Mr. Stanley Ogden? Oh. Well, in that case, I'll just ask you to vote on the names already put forward. Those in favour, raise their hands. Those against? Right, well, that disposes of the officers for the community. Anything else? Oh, no, I'll hand you over to Councillor Roberts now, who will tell you exactly who's doing what.
Right. Well, the results of this evening's elections are as follows. The chairman, Mr. Shepherd. Secretary, Miss Nugent. Treasurer, Mr. Barton. Committee, myself, Mr. Bishop and Mrs. Braddock.
Trust her to get herself elected on.
Who's that, Tina?
Mrs. Braddock.
Oh, I didn't know you knew her.
Oh, I know her all right. She'd walk through Netherfield stark naked with that one if she thought she'd get her name in papers.
Any other business, then?
Yes, sir. I'm Tommy Deacon, Mr. Chairman, rag and bone merchant. I'd like to apply here and now for the junk and jumble concession at the centre.
I'm sorry, Mr. Deacon, I don't think this meeting has the brief to cover that sort of thing. Well, now, anything else? Right, well, I have an item of news for you. You will, I hope, be pleased to hear that His Worship the Mayor of Weatherfield has consented to open the centre officially next Wednesday. And I hope you'll all be here in large numbers to welcome. Right, well, that's the lot, and I now declare this meeting closed. Oh, would the members of the committee please stay behind and help me with the arrangements for the Myrtle visit?
I can't believe it's happened. I never thought for a moment that the election was anything but a formality. I mean, if I thought for 1 minute there was going to be a rival, I'd have done so much more canvassing.
Not to worry, Emily. I may not be skipper, but at least I made the team. How did you get on?
Me?
Over at the warehouse?
Oh, I got the job.
Oh, good.
But there is just one little snag.
Oh?
Well, Sir Julius Berlin, the company chairman, is coming over to the factory next week, so they do want to get things moving along a bit, and they were wondering if you could possibly spare me from tomorrow.
Oh, well, yes, of course. I mean, if one's going to make a break, it's always better to make it a clean one, isn't it?
Oh, we know who our strands are now then, don't we?
Oh, come on, Hilda. You didn't really want your stand to get on that committee, did you?
Yeah, Lottie's got as much right to be on it as anybody else, more than some. That Ernie Bishop hasn't got a residual qualification to be on it, has he? I mean, he doesn't live round here.
But he wouldn't have liked it, Hilda.
His likes and dislikes have got nothing to do with it. At least I would have known he was out of mischief for one night in the week. Any road, any time any of you lot want an unsophisticated testimonial for someone, just walk straight past our house, because we won't be answering the door.
Do you ever get the funny feeling that Hilda Ogden's a bit off us?
No. It's just this funny way she has of showing her affection, that's all.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Sharples. How are you?
As well as I could be expected, I suppose, now I've seen you.
Will you have a drink with me?
I don't mind.
Milk stout, is it?
That's right.
Yeah, and Mrs. Caldwell's on milk stout, and mine's a drop of rum.
That's 2 milk stouts, a small rum, and a half a bitter, please.
Right. And I'll see you in a minute.
And I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, will you tell me now, or do I have to wait until the bribe's put in my hand?
Tell you what?
What it is you're after.
You know, that's the trouble with you English. You're born cynics, a lot of you. You've just lost faith in human nature.
Yes, the trouble with you paddies is you think we're all as green as that island you're all singing about. Well?
Well, not that this was my motivation in coming in here, mark you.
No.
But as a matter of fact, there is a small service you could do for me.
And the funny feeling there might be.
You know that junk and jumble concession I referred to in the hall back there?
Well, what about it?
Well, you see, I thought if I could get somebody, like Mrs. Turpin here, with her legal connections, to draft me out a nice typewritten letter of application.
Yeah.
Do you think you could put it in the proper channels over there and maybe put in a good word for me at the same time?
All right. Don't take the top off that bottle, Betty. I've got some junk and jumble of my own to shift before I settle down to that.
So Miss Nugent will do the catering for the mayor.
Is it really necessary for the committee to be presented to the mayor and his lady at all?
Necessary? Of course it's necessary. It's the usual procedure on these occasions, proper protocol.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a moment, Mrs. Braddock, and I'm sure it's all very well in its place if one happens to set any store by such things, but I don't believe its place is in the community centre. I think we should be prepared to start as we mean to go on, Mr. Chairman, and if we're going to attract the public of Weatherfield to our standard, well, the image we want to present is one of casual and friendly informality.
I must say I'm inclined to agree with Miss Nugent on that point, Mr. Chairman.
Naturally.
Well, to my mind, Mr. Bishop, both ladies have got a point here. Of course, I agree with Miss Nugent. We don't want a lot of pomp and circumstance next Wednesday, but at the same time, some presentations have got to be made, you know. Look, why don't you leave it to me, and I'll play it by ear on the night. Don't you agree, Councillor?
Yes, that would seem to be the happiest solution.
Yeah.
Haven't you lot finished in here
Well,
yet?
that seems to be it all, lads and lasses, and thank you very much for your attendance.
I take it you're taking that with you when you go, Alf Roberts?
Pardon?
That toffee paper you're thinking of dropping on my floor.
Oh, aye.
Here, don't say I never give you now.
What is it?
Oh, a list of the things I want putting right with my accommodation in this place before you start spending your money on hotels.
Problems?
Just a little poem Dante Gabriel Rossetti wrote.
Oh, yeah.
I have been here before, but when or how I cannot tell. It's at times like this I know exactly what that poem means.
Oh, really?
Well, Miss Nugent, all very painless, don't you think?
Quite fruitful, I thought.
And may I say that I meant most sincerely all I said about your appointment?
Oh, thank you very much.
Not at all. Can I give you a lift somewhere?
Well, not really. I only live across the road.
Oh, well, in that case, I expect we shall be seeing a lot more of each other before the year's much older. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, you know that posh rose I used to take you for fish and chips in?
The one you had to get rid of because the ashtrays was full.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Well, what about it?
Well, you'll be able to say hello to it again, won't you? Because the mayor's coming to open the community centre.
Oh, good.
What do you mean, oh, good? I said you can say hello to it, not flog it on the open market.
Yes, but it'll give me a chance to see if it's still there, won't it? To see if anybody's found it or not.
What?
The earring got lost down the back of the seat, you know, the day we went for the ride.
You mean you dropped it off your ear with that
No,
one?
I wasn't wearing them. You see, I got them out of my handbag to show to Elsie. But when I got home, there was only one left, so there's only one place it could be.
You're joking, aren't you? Go on, tell us you're joking.
Am I like us joking? I wouldn't care they was dear, you know, them earrings. They was. They cost me a couple of quid at Torquay.
Mammy, old love, you wouldn't do something that one of us might regret, would you? You know, one of us that runs a garage, like.
Billy, you don't think I'd do anything to get you in trouble? I mean, you know how discreet I can be.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about.